Welcome back, everybody. It's time for Customers Who Click. Remember to head over to the Customers Who Click website where you can get access to over 50 actionable tips to help your business today. Joining me is Saunder Schroeder, the Chief Marketing Officer at Disruptive Marketing. And today we're going to be talking about how you can use UGC in your marketing strategy to really lower your acquisition costs and boost conversion. The great thing about UGC is that it's actually pretty easy to obtain and it can be used everywhere. Advertising, social media, on your website and your emails, you name it, UGC fits there. But let's get Saunder on now to really explain the benefits. Hi, Saunder. Thanks for joining me today. Do you want to just quickly introduce yourself, a little bit of your background and what you're up to at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me, Will. So I'm the CMO at Disruptive Advertising, a paid media agency. So I do marketing for marketing agency, which is fun and also introduces a lot of opinions and good and fresh dynamics. I've been in digital marketing for about 12 years now, in lots of different roles for, other agencies, other e-commerce businesses. I originally got started through my own e-commerce business, about 12 years ago, manufacturing some watches in China and selling them online. And definitely in the wild, wild west days of, I would say kind of the digital marketing era. It's interesting though to see trends then come full circle today. A lot of what we were doing back then was user-generated content through influencers and things like that. And we're starting to see that come back. We kind of had that era of full production type videos. And now we're just seeing people really like the authenticity of user-generated content. And, I think different than just using that through influencers, though, now we're using that in ads on websites, reviews, things like that. So, a little background on me and kind of what we're seeing.
I guess so. Part of that full circle is probably down to probably down to the fact that a lot of marketers are not that great at marketing. And there's a lot of focus on here's a new platform, like Facebook, Google Ads, really quick, easy way to make money. So let's just focus on that, get some nice creative up and we're good. And so that focus on good quality content like UGC and like long form video kind of died off because fewer and fewer people knew how to do those long form videos in a good way. So,
yeah, I think that's 100% accurate. I think you're right. I think a lot of marketers have definitely leaned on what's like quick and easy, where obviously long form video takes a lot of time. And, I would also say with the introduction of Snapchat, TikTok, stories, we are seeing shorter attention spans as well. And so, I think that also is just a change in the industry and how quickly we do need to get to the hook, immediately. And then, the value prop almost immediately. So, I think, and, also I do think there is still a place for long form content. It just tends to come now more mid funnel versus like top of funnel.
Yeah. But actually, I want to change what I said slightly. I think it was a bit unfair to say most marketers aren't good. I think there are a large number of marketers these days are more kind of platform experts, right?
Yeah.
They know how to use the Facebook platform. They know how to use Google platform, but they've never had marketing training.
Yeah.
They don't understand marketing, but they've obviously fit into marketing teams. So that's probably a more accurate statement.
Yeah, I like that too. I think just to echo that, I feel like a lot of like, the OG digital marketers, if that's what we're going to call ourselves, I think most of us did get started by starting a business or being early on in a business and really, I think being that growth marketer and I think just understanding the business dynamics as well as, how do you convert that now into a marketing message that converts. And so, I do think, it was challenging then, but it definitely, I feel like gives us a leg up now. Because we're not like in the platform. And, I do also think we do need platform specific people now when you're managing $1 million a month on Facebook. It's that definitely is needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, cool. Let's get into UGC then. I suppose everyone probably knows what UGC is, but give us a very quick, like, elevator pitch on UGC, and then where do you use it? How do you gather it? Actually, that would be a really good place to go.
Right. Yeah. So UGC stands for user generated content. Quick elevator pitch is more or less getting influencers or customers tend to be the two people you like to target with UGC to either, share an unboxing of your product. If it's an influencer, if it's a customer, it tends to be best to get like a video review or things like that. And then as far as gathering it, I think there's definitely a lot of influencer platforms that you can use to gather content that way. And then, for customer campaigns, we tend to just email the top cohort of customers. So the customers that have the strongest lifetime value, they seem very loyal, are very engaging on social media. Just asking them for a video review of why they love this product so much, sending them a script. And then, I think to combine both of those, there's actually a pretty cool company called BRoll.io. And they kind of combine both, where you can get influencers and also send to customers, but it gives like a script on the phone as people are recording as far as like talking points to hit on. And, it's been a pretty cool app and partner of ours that we've enjoyed.
It's almost like a teleprompter, so that it's recording them. They're basically reading off the screen.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, it's nice because a lot of people, other than influencers, but your customers usually aren't very comfortable in front of camera.
Yeah, that was going to be my follow up. You do get some good quality customer content, but the vast, huge majority of it is, low quality. The person's not that confident, not that comfortable on camera. The lighting's not great, but those obviously come across very genuine.
Yeah.
And you've got to, I guess, weigh up the pros and cons of that. If you can give someone a script and give them a few instructions, like be in a well-lit space, have the camera X distance from you, basically give them some instructions, you should be able to get good enough user-generated content from your customers that you can then use in adverts and social media and whatever.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think you nailed the trade-offs and how to go about it the right way. And, I think there is something to be said just about raw and organic content. And it tends to resonate with exactly who you're targeting, because you're using, your target audience to communicate what they love about it.
Yeah. And also you get, obviously not if you script it, but if you let the customer just do their own thing, you get the language that they use, which is great, because not only could you can then use that as your own research really and take that language for your website, for your advertising, but also you've ensured that that video you're going to put out there should, in theory, speak to at least a certain segment of your customer base.
100%. Love that.
Cool. So where would you recommend using UGC? What's actually the value? Apart from the fact that you've got these genuine customer reviews, but where is the value? Where do you use it? What's the point?
I think the easy answer is everywhere. And I can give a few examples. So, we have a client who sells swimsuits for women. We were, running our own ad, just, using some of the video content and the shoots that they had been doing. And we were seeing a good CPA on YouTube in running this, both pre-roll, mid-roll. And we switched it out for some user-generated content from a customer of theirs. And we were able to cut the CPA on YouTube by 80%. And so that was just a phenomenal use case of where it just, blew our expectations out of the water.
What sort of price point is the product?
Their average swimsuit's about $45.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so fairly standard, kind of standard fashion pricing, not We're not talking about luxury products. So, okay.
Yeah, they are priced very favorably, but they are, as far as swimsuits go, their materials are up with like the upper echelon of swimsuit brands. So that's why their user generated content does perform so well, because people at the price point aren't expecting such a high quality product. And so when that's like everything like everyone is saying in the UGC content, it just helps with the sell so much easier, because they're like, I spent $100 on this swimsuit and this $45 one is, 4 times the quality. So, they've definitely nailed a good price point there.
Yeah. Have you heard of Italic?
I haven't.
It's just a company called Italic. Stumbled across it on Twitter the other day. Unfortunately, they don't ship to the UK, but their whole selling point is we get the products from the manufacturers. We get products from the same manufacturers as the luxury brands. So I don't know if they're, because I can't access it. It's a members thing, so I can't access it because I'm in the UK. So I don't know if you're actually buying those products, but almost at cost, or if you're just buying almost like an exact replica or a very similar product. But yeah, it seems quite cool, but it's US only. So a bit annoying for me. It was just that whole idea of, I guess pointing out that you don't have to pay an extra $1,000. You are paying an extra $1,000 or something for the brand name just to be on there.
Yeah, 100%.
And it sounds like your clients are basically showing that, you don't have to, like you can still get the quality. Yeah. At a good price point.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that obviously, helps in all of the content. And then, I think obviously that was a YouTube ads example. I think the same applies to Facebook ads. The same applies to content that's on your website. We're even testing that right now, UGC content versus, these beautiful images. And I think that's where you do have to find like a good balance between, they still want to position themselves as a premium brand. And so I think the website still needs like that premium feel. And so just finding like, maybe we still lead with the high production video that, was done in Hawaii with a film crew. And then, maybe right below that is the, more the UGC content. So you're still getting the premium feel and then also like the organic real customer feel to go with it. So, I think you honestly can, and then, they use those in their stories. They use those on their organic posts. I mean, honestly, anywhere we put them in our emails, as like a review snippet from clients. So, or customers. So I think UGC is just great because it can honestly be used anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah. I did some research for one of my clients, just some surveys and things. And a lot of the feedback was that images are really important, which understandable. But a lot of the comments were saying real life imagery. So they don't just want a picture of the product. They want a picture of the product with someone using it or wearing it, whatever you're supposed to do with it. And that gives you a real, obviously depends what it is, but if it's like clothing and stuff, that gives you a real look and feel for it. And you can think, well, yeah, that looks about right for me. Obviously the next step would be able to say, this is my body shape and size. This is my height. This is my weight. And so here's what a medium would look like on me. That would be incredible.
Yeah.
But I think that UGC is like taking it to that next level. So you've got, the basic photo that you can look at in the detail and go, okay, cool. This is the product I want. Then you see someone wearing it. You go, cool. Okay. It looks really good on a person. And then it might be that third one, which is the UGC. And you go, okay, this business has got real people. They've got customers. They've got happy customers. That's like another checkbox. Yeah, cool. Another bit of that social proof to get someone to purchase.
Yeah, love that. I think that's phenomenal. I think, that's because I think, obviously the biggest hiccup of ordering online is how's it going to fit? So the closer you can relate to that and, is definitely going to be very important.
Yeah. I mean, there's loads of companies out there now that do kind of fit finding tools, whether it's for, fashion, shoes. Those are the main ones. I did see quite a cool tool on a really random website that looked, a bit old, didn't really look like a very professional design. it almost looked like a bit of a template that they'd then edited themselves. But they had this widget in the middle. It was a watch. It was either not luxury. It was either a jewelry website or a watch website specifically. I can't remember. But there was one bit where you just had an arm across the screen and you could change the skin tone and you could change the watch that was on there. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite give you the feel for like the fit and the size. Obviously, you can change that with a watch. But it gave you a feel for how that watch and that strap would look on your arm and whether you liked it or not. So I thought that was really cool. And I've never seen it anywhere else.
That is cool. I like that. I mean, what comes up for me is just how cool augmented reality is going to be in the future, because you could literally stand in front of a mirror with your phone and, it will fall the way it's going to fall on you. And, I think that will be, kind of like the next step and evolution and all of this. I mean, you see it now with like furniture and stuff like that, but, the future is definitely going to be cool when it comes to all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I've not looked at IKEA's app yet, but you're supposed to be able to do that now with their AR app, which is quite cool. And there's a brand, a glasses brand, I think it's called Cubits in the UK, who do like kind of luxury. It's their own glasses, and they're quite high end. And I think they have an iOS based.
Cool.
Or no, you might just have to do it on your phone. I don't think you can use a webcam on a PC. You have to do it on your phone, but it is basically an AR thing of like, this is what the glasses are going to look like on you.
Cool.
Just help you make a bit of a decision, which is quite cool. So it's good to see more and more like smaller brands adopting these sort of things. We've moved a little bit off topic.
Yeah.
So just bring it back to UGC. So advertising wise, I just wanted to ask, if you're running ads, if you're doing a video ad, which, well, it's a video review, isn't it? Is it literally just the video is just the review, or maybe two reviews, or do you kind of like mix it in with a bit of production stuff to introduce it or anything?
Yeah, great question. So I think there's a mix, and I think really testing and figuring out what works is best. But we'll run it just one single review in an ad and test it in the top, middle, and bottom funnel campaigns to see how that performs. We'll then do more of a compilation where we'll take 5 or 10 reviews and just take like the 5 or 10 seconds of each of those that are most impactful and put those all together into one with a lot of quick transitions. So even though I'm saying 5 to 10 seconds, each one might be like 3 seconds talking, just to keep it engaging. Once again, testing that at all stages. So I think honestly, there's room to add some production to it, and that will, perform sometimes better. And then some companies just doing the, 15 to 30 second review from a customer in its own ad will perform, better. And I think depending on where they're at in the funnel, can determine that as well. So
good answer. Reminding me a bit of, do you know the agency Molio?
I don't.
The US based. Had a chat with them in one of the earliest episodes, I think, maybe around episode 20. Cool. Their whole thing is video advertising, and media buying. But their process is they will film like a 5-minute video advertisement for a brand, but they will include several introductions, several middles, several ends, and then basically mix it up and test everything across channels, across the funnel, ad formats. So it sounded like it just reminded me, like what you were saying, reminded me of that, where, you're kind of saying like test it, like test different different styles of creative, test them in different ad slots and everything. So, it sounds like a really good thought through approach, as opposed to sometimes what you see, which is we've got a video, stick it on Facebook, hope it works.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know if the methodology to marketing will ever really change too much around just test, analyze, optimize, and, kind of rinse and repeat over and over and over again. And, the failures are kind of the learnings and get you up to that point of finding the win. And, so I think doing that as best as you can, whether that's in content or audiences or, whatever it is, I think that that will always stand, hopefully, the test of time.
Yeah. So where can brands go wrong with UGC? Do you see any kind of mistakes that they make?
I think we are starting to see, just because UGC is performing well, brands almost making production versions of UGC. And I think that's where you're actually losing the intent and the flavor behind what makes UGC great. Where you can see it's like an actor. I mean, it's like the classic infomercial, doctor that at the bottom says this is not an actual doctor. It's just like
we don't have that here. I don't think you're allowed to do that in the UK.
Good law, but so I think that's kind of what that's becoming, right? You can see it's obviously a very attractive person. They're hitting all the cues right, and it's just it just loses that flavor of real, authentic, that it is a customer. And so, I think you tend to see that more with the bigger brands. And so I think just keeping people honest there is very important.
Yep.
So, I think that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, I think it's really important. It's like what we said at the start, right? It's real UGC comes across as real user-generated content, because you can generally tell people are not professionals, right? They hesitate a bit. Their performance in front of a camera is not perfect, and even just something as simple as the lighting. The lighting's not. It could be good, but it's not going to be spot on.
Yeah. And
you can tell when it's been done professionally. And it is very, very obvious. So yeah, hopefully we won't see too much of that.
I know. I mean, I'm starting to see more and more, so we'll see what happens there. And then, I think one of the other mistakes is it's hard when you find something that works to not want to really, scale it at that point. But I think, a lot of brands will then just put everything in that basket and that's all they're doing. And so I think just still keeping in mind, you want balance in everything you're doing. And, like I gave with our swimwear client, we still want, the website to have that premium feel. And, there still is a need to incorporate UGC there as well. So I think, just keeping in mind, it's still great to have long form content. And I think that's where you tell your story, your brand story, and who you are. So yeah, I think just not going all in. So there's a difference between scaling and going all in. So I would say just understanding the fine line there.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point. I haven't seen it in bigger companies because obviously they've got the budgets and the departments for it. But yes, I suppose with smaller companies where budgets are quite limited, it can be quite tempting to say, well, this ad's working really well for us, so let's just focus on this, and let's make another couple of versions of this, and we'll be good. And eventually, trends change. Eventually, that sort of content's going to stop working or be less effective. Yeah, all completely valid points. And I suppose on the flip side of that, what are some key tips for sourcing it or producing it? Yeah, what are one or two or three things that a brand can do to really get UGC right?
Yeah. So, I mentioned that B-roll company that's been a nice way to it feels like a more efficient way just because you can easily manage everything within there, and the user experience is amazing, especially for customers. So, that's been pretty phenomenal. And then, I think back to my previous point, I think really understanding who your advocates are as customers is always a great way or a great place to start. And you can always incentivize them with, a free swimsuit bottom or top, or, free swimsuit in general, or whatever your product is, where, obviously there's a lot more margin on the business side to do that. And they're thrilled, usually just you reaching out and wanting them to film something. But then if you can sweeten it, I think they just put a little bit more effort into it. They're a little bit more considerate around what they're what they're saying, and just, I think just put a more concentrated effort into it. So I think those are the two tips that have helped us. And then, I think, like I said, when you can start combining it and get a little bit more production in there, I think that helps as well, just to get multiple people, customers or influencers sharing, and maybe even splicing a customer with an influencer with a customer with an influencer. That can work well with the more premium fill. So you do have someone who is a little bit more experienced and always filming themselves, with a customer who isn't. So it can kind of give you a good balance of that premium and authentic fill.
Yeah. There's some, I say some, I know of one, but I'm sure there are other apps. But there's a review app called reviews.io, which is pretty cool. But they have one of their dashboards is like an influencer dashboard. So it will tell you, it's obviously syncs with all your customers, pings off those review requests. But then it will say, well, we've actually identified that this person has a decent following on Instagram. So I think that's all it does at the moment. But I think the kind of point that they're trying to say is it's an opportunity for you to reach out to this person, especially if they've left a 5-star review. You can then say, well, they've left a 5-star review. They've also got 50,000 followers on Instagram. Let's reach out to them. Let's, and it could be, would you mind doing a video review to go with it? Or it could just lead you to going, well, here's an influencer we've got who loves our product. Let's just work with them.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. But just a good way of scoring and getting, kind of ensuring you get some better quality.
Yeah.
Reviews. Like, if someone's got 50,000 followers on Instagram, they probably know what they're doing with a camera.
Yeah, for sure.
So you can be pretty confident that this person's going to give you a good review. Do you see any? Do you see any kind of trends coming up in the way businesses use UGC?
I am starting to see businesses taking people who, maybe are a little bit more better on camera, but also relatable, starting to use them as models in their actual like product photography on the website. And so, that's been a pretty cool, I think like good, better, best. I definitely think that's like a best case scenario. If you can get customers start modeling like your apparel. And I think that's just like a whole different level of advocate where, they're not only helping you with video content, but now they're on your website wearing your product. They're relatable, that people are seeing them in the ad, and then they come, to the website and they see, a real person actually wearing it versus, a model who's 5'10" and 110 pounds, and fit isn't always relatable. So I think that's a cool evolution.
Yeah. You could just have like a little like Will from London.
Yeah.
And maybe some like kind of figure stats, but maybe just indicating that's a customer. But it just made me think, do you know an app called Hero? Like a widget. It's a website widget.
Yeah, that one sounds familiar.
I think it's a live chat. But the thing I think it combines a live chat, but the thing I've seen is you have like it just rolls through videos of staff members who have taken video of themselves in stores, saying like, here's one of my favorite tops, and then just kind of describing it and saying like, it fits really well like this. It's the slightly longer fit or whatever, they kind of talk you through it, but I imagine they probably did use some models to do it or something, because these people were confident, unless they just took a few shots or whatever. But so that sort of thing, just as UGC really. So instead of using your staff members, you're using customers to do it.
Yeah.
And then you could actually do because I think part of it is also the ability to shop now. So on this video, you're looking at this product and you have the option to just visit this product, or I don't think it's buy now because you'd have to do size and stuff, but it's just on any page of the website, it's just advertising a role of kind of staff favorites.
I love that.
And so you could do a similar thing, but with customer favorites.
Yeah, that's a cool app. I'm interested to check that out. I'll have to look.
I believe it got bought by Klarna a little while ago.
Okay.
So what I'm really hoping is that anyone who uses Klarna will get access to it, hopefully for free. That'd be awesome, because that it just gives it to everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's rad.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That does bring up, I don't know if they're still in business. Well, there were a couple of companies doing it where when you chatted in, it would connect you with actual customers.
Okay.
And companies were paying customers, more or less to do their customer service.
Never heard of that.
And so, yeah, you would just use the website chat and it would connect you with customers and you could ask them anything about the product. So I know like Callaway was doing it on the golf side. We tested it with a few clients, and, I think it is like hit or miss because, sometimes they do just need to talk to someone in customer service about a shipping issue or something. So,
what's your returns policy?
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, okay, let me connect you with Frank over here, or Angela, or whoever it is, So yeah. So I haven't really seen that trend take off, but I think just back to the advocates, I think that is I love the concept. And I do think it is, an interesting and maybe a hard thing to actually execute on.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. You'd almost do it like an Uber sort of thing where like the app will just ping out a request, and if you're online, you can choose to accept it or not.
Yep.
And then you get paid a hourly prorated rate for taking calls. That'd be quite cool. And then on the website, you just separate it out from customer support. You say, would you like to speak to a previous customer, or do you need customer service? But it could be, I imagine that'd be really easy to set up as a business and at least try out. Getting the customers on board may be more difficult. That's tech-wise, not difficult.
Maybe. I think the concept is they love it, already. And so it's like, do you want to get paid to talk more about the products you love? And I think with the gig economy, like you said, I think that's a great point. It's like, sure, a lot of people would love to do that.
Yeah, you just need enough people on board so that you can kind of rely on someone being available 24/7 almost. Like someone somewhere just answering that. Then you got language issues, I suppose. But yeah, it's an interesting idea. Cool. Is there anything else you want to add about UGC?
I don't think so. I think we covered most of it. I think, maybe the last things to hit on is, and maybe just reinforce, is I think it's just good to keep testing and seeing what works. And UGC might work for your business. It might not. But, I should rephrase that. I think UGC works for every business. I just think, reviews, just like an online review website, Google, Facebook, Yotpo, whatever it is. Like, I think, that's obviously UGC content. And I think that always helps reinforce having reviews on your website. So, I think you just need to find what UGC content actually does work for your business and really just test it efficiently across every medium and channel that you can.
Yeah, cool. I suppose actually a final question on that from me is, have you got any examples of brands that you can mention that do it well?
Yeah, I'll shout out our swimwear client. I think they're doing a great job. So their name's Nani. So Nani Swimwear, NANI. I think check out B-Roll for sure. I think that's a cool website, and they have a lot of examples from a lot of different customers. Like Netflix did it for their 13 Reasons Why show, just doing UGC content through B-Roll, and that was a cool just a cool use case to see that. So I think just really, I think a lot of brands, I don't know outside of that if I'm like being blown away by all these brands doing UGC. I think we kind of are in that weird space right now where a lot of brands either have like big influencers and that's like their UGC, like Gymshark, to use a UK company. They have every fitness influencer you can imagine as like a sponsor. And I think that works extremely well. And that's very powerful for them to sync up with people who are into fitness, have a following, where, it might not make sense for me to be a Gymshark, wearing a tank top and the short shorts, is probably not going to be great for me.
But then there's always that audience, right?
Yeah, true.
That's what we were saying earlier about that having genuine customers as models for a fashion brand, because it speaks to the customer. So, maybe some people don't want to see this like incredibly in shape person wearing the Gymshark gear because they're like, well, is that going to look good on me if I've got a few pounds on? And it's like, maybe you want to see what it's going to look like.
All right. You win. Good argument. I rescind my previous comment.
We'll see if we can get Gymshark in touch. So just finally then, is there anyone in the D2C marketing world that you would want to have lunch with?
Ooh. I mean, I think Gymshark would actually be a really cool company because I feel like they've done everything extremely well. So I do think that is an example that, or a company I would love to definitely have lunch with. I think there are, I like, Felix Gray, the blue light glasses that I wear. I think they would be interesting. So, I think people who are, I honestly just love talking to any D2C brand and what's working for them. And I think it is, we have a very like premium D2C client, and that's been like very intriguing. And there was a lot of doubt in working with them just because of the price point. And it's just unreal what you can do with D2C now. So it would be cool to understand, a more premium brand and how they're doing it as well would be cool. I don't really have one that comes top of mind, but yeah.
I mean, I suppose the pushback I can imagine from premium brands, like really premium brands, is that content doesn't fit.
Yeah.
They want to be like, everything has to look perfect on the website. And there's that fear that even the people who can afford like really expensive products might not be able to put a decent enough video together. But maybe that's where you can get away with putting a bit more studio quality into it. Maybe you send that person like a microphone, a light, like a ring light, and you give them some of the equipment needed to put together that video.
Yeah. Well, and since you push back on me, I'm gonna push back on you on this one. I think more premium customers tend to be more tech savvy and tend to highlight maybe their lifestyle better anyway, and kind of have that influencer feel. So I do think premium brands probably should be embracing it more and more, because I think it does go in line probably with who their customers are. And maybe I think to your point, they probably do want to fill and, really give their stamp of approval, have higher criteria, I guess, higher standards and what they allow.
Yeah, there will always be, for those premium, well, for any brand really, but premium brands, there will always be those customers who want to show off.
Yeah.
And if you ask them to do a video and you say, we want to use it in advertising, we want to put you on our adverts or on our social feeds, there'll be people like, yeah, let me do it. What do you want? Give me scripts, instructions, whatever. I'll get you that video.
Yeah. I agree. I think 100%. And I think they'll put the effort in to like make it, amazing. They're probably not, if we take like a Gucci, for example, they're probably not going to want people taking a picture in front of a mirror, right? They're going to want them to be against like a brick wall or some street art, wearing and posing, but, still UGC content. So,
which is really easy to do these days as well, right? The quality of cameras these days, you can get those good quality of phone cameras. I mean,
yeah, it's unreal. I mean, I think that I don't have the iPhone 12 Max, my wife does, but the camera on that and the portrait mode is just like unreal. We have a super nice Sony A7. She's actually an influencer. So I was the Instagram husband, always, using our Sony or Canon or whatever to take pictures. And now it's just like all about the phone. and even he's completely shifted, I think is also an interesting trend with influencers of like, every post always had to be like professional. And now it's like the raw organic ones that aren't staged are the ones that do like phenomenal. And so, I think that just, maybe I guess back to your trend question, I think shows where the trend in content and influencers is going as well.
Which coming back to that, like this is more genuine, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the influencers are starting to realize that actually, if they come across more genuine, it works better for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, this has been awesome. Really, really, really good. I've really enjoyed this. If people want to find out more or get in touch, what's the best way of doing that?
Yeah. So you can email me, saunder@disruptiveadvertising.com. My handles across all social media is Saunder Schroeder. A little bit of a tongue twister, but you'll see my name, here, but just without the ER on the end. All one word. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever, Instagram, whatever medium is good. Always down to chat and talk, and just don't spam me with your products. I like building real relationships. That's my only ask. So build something genuine, and then I'm open to hear anything.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Saunder.
Yeah. Thanks, Will.
Real UGC comes across as really genuine, great content. You don't actually want things to be perfect. You don't want that studio finish on things because it just immediately starts to look like an advert instead of the genuine customer content that it's supposed to be. The whole point is that it looks genuine, and it really is genuine customer explanation of the product or service. And this is so powerful for converting visitors into customers. It's almost as good as referral marketing when you think about it. Who are you going to believe more? A company saying, we're so good, our product is amazing, or your average person explaining why they love the product and how it's changed their life? If you'd like to learn more about UGC and how to use it, reach out to Saunder on LinkedIn or head over to the Disruptive Marketing website. Any other podcasts, questions, feedback, guest requests, please send them over to will@customerswhoclick.com or tweet me at Will Lawrenson. Next up, I've got Eli Weiss joining me from Olipop, and he's going to explain how their focus on customer experience has driven growth for their Challenger's soft drink brand. But until then, keep those customers clicking.